let's jump ahead to talking about some of the modern day wrestlers. And I want to start with Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, last week, we didn't know who the Intercontinental champ was. Turns out it's Nakamura. Now, I had high hopes for the guy when he came over from New Japan, and he's a great talent, but he's kind of wound up in the middle of the card.
He has, but it's not because of lack of talent. That kid has got a ton of talent. I mean, and he's the kind of guy that, and he's legitimately tough. You know that, Mark, right?
Oh, for sure.
No, legitimately tough. He's
Right.
a tough, real tough kid. You'd never know it. He's so kind and polite. You know, just like Asuka's a lady and a half, but she's tough. The kids that come over there from Japan that have been brought into the business the hard way are always going to be incredibly tough mentally, and they're going to be good athletes, and they're going to be technical. And this kid can wrestle technically. He can wrestle wide open. He can punch and kick. He's smart in the ring. He carries himself like a champion. I think a lot of them.
Why do some guys like him get way over in NXT, but don't get over to the same degree in WWE?
They don't get the same push.
Think it's that simple?
Yep. If you gave Nakamura Paul Heyman, you know what I mean, and refined his gimmick to the point where it would be really a demographic that everybody could deal with, Nakamura could get over. He'd have to change his style around a little bit, but he's got the ability and the talent to do that. But he could endless. Well, it might be too late now because he's been here so long, but it all depends on how you come in. But I just don't. One thing he has stayed who he is. I mean, some of the guys have been 5 different people. And I mean, I look at Seth. He's been. I love the architect. I thought that was great. And then it was the disciple, and now it's the drip or some damn thing, and now I'm not sure what he's doing. But I think the people that stick with one, when they find their groove, if they stick with one, they stay with it, and they're going to enjoy the most success. And you know, it's not just about marketing, but you want to be viewed in the eyes of the fans as someone that has just stayed who you are. And every time you change, it's because you're not happy with, or the office isn't happy with what you're doing.
Now, when you say Nakamura could refine his gimmick, what do you mean? What would you add to it or change about it?
Well, if he'd just come over, I would, the first couple of times out, I'd have him in a suit, and I'd have a guy like Heyman talking for him. And then I gradually would start to work, and I would make sure that he was working in the ring with guys that were technically good, where he could really display his wear. And he has a lot of them. And then I would go from there. You know, I'm not positive he could be, the biggest star of all time. I didn't say that, but I think that he could mean a lot more to the show than he does, because I think he's got a ton of talent.
Now,
and by the way, he means a lot to me. When he's on, I watch. So, I don't turn him off.
Now, you mentioned talking. Is it tough for a Japanese wrestler who can't speak English to get past the language barrier?
Yes.
Does the lack of promo ability hurt, and how bad does it hurt him?
I think it's hurt him. Yeah, because it's not skill. It's like Asuka. If Asuka was a world-class talker, God only knows where Asuka would be. I mean, she's had a hell of a run, but Asuka to me is the kind of person, unless she'd asked for time off, that should never not be on TV.
Well, and they kind of made her into a cartoon character, for better or worse, didn't they? With the kind of, I don't know how to describe the way she talks, but it's kind of sing-songy and, like I said, cartoony.
Well, that's because that's the way they write. That's the way that they feel that she can come across. Does that make sense? Rather than trying to put together a dead serious promo that is hard for her probably to say in English, they give her short lines that are humorous, or and I don't look at that as being a cartoon because she's so damn good in the ring. I mean, to me, Asuka can say anything or do anything, and she's so damn good in the ring it doesn't matter, because whatever she says, people forget about it the minute she's out there kicking someone's ass, which she can do.
Now, we mentioned that Nakamura is the Intercontinental champ, and we didn't even remember who that was last week. The Intercontinental belt doesn't mean what it used to, does it?
Well, they made such a big deal of it. I think Pat was the first guy to ever have it, and they made such a big deal for years. You don't hear much about it now, no. But it's obviously it's a very prestigious. Anybody wants to be the champion, but no, it's not, I don't think it's recognized and is highly thought of because I think they've moved it around a lot. One of the reasons that Roman is so over is they've left the title on Roman for a period of time.
Yep.
Jesus, yeah, and it's well deserved. But keeping the title for a period of time is what makes you different. Just dropping around back and forth, figuring out what works one day and what doesn't work the next, trying to get somebody over. I mean, it's like I said that night, that Ashley had just won the title, and I can't think of the little girl's name.